All set? Everybody ready? All right, we'll roll. Great to see all of you. Thanks for coming. Been 253 days since the UTSA game, and that was a long time ago, but we've had a lot of time to reflect and go back and evaluate and try and correct any of the problems we had last year so that we can come back and have a better season in 2015. But I really appreciate all of you being here. I'll start out just saying we offer our deepest sympathy to the Phil Ratliff family at North Carolina, Charlotte. Most of you probably heard about the offensive line coach there, passed away, and just terrible tragedy. And I left a message for Brad Lambert last night when I heard about it, the head coach out there. Really impressed with him and the meetings that we've had in our Conference USA meetings. But our deepest sympathy and our condolences go out to the Ratliff family. At any time of year, something like this must be just horrible and terrible to deal with, much less you're trying to get ready for a season and everybody's excited about a new year and then something like this happens. But we're sure thinking about it, and we'll keep it in our thoughts and prayers. We've had a great summer, guys. Excellent overall academically. Our guys are going to finish up this week with some classes. Our summer one grades were phenomenal. We're in the midst of finishing summer two. We're used to it here since I took the job that we do have a week of our last week of summer two classes going on as we start practice today. But we have to work around it. We work through it. And in the end, we still want great results. The academic achievement of this program has been phenomenal. It takes a lot of people to get it done. But again, there will be no eligibility issues. Our APR is the best it's ever been in the history of North Texas. Over the 4-year period, over the 1-year period, all those things are real meaningful to me because it starts there, their commitment to academics before they ever step in the weight room or on a practice field or on a game field. And we don't anticipate any problems from an academic standpoint. Our roster is set. 105 is set. We're good to go for practice today. Xavier Grindle, the defensive back, did not make it that we wanted. We signed 25 guys in this last class. 24 of them were here with us. And he did not take care of business the way he needed to. There was one class that he needed to get a certain grade in. He didn't get it, so he won't be here with us. But the good news is we've got a young man named Darian McNair that got here yesterday, and he was a Mississippi State commit from the beginning, and he's taking care of his academic business. Kevin Patrick did a great job of following up and recruiting and closing the deal, and he got here yesterday, and we're really excited about him. He weighed in at 252 pounds yesterday, so we'll find out today if he's in real good condition. But he looks the part. When you see him out there at practice, many of you will probably be out of practice, you'll like the looks of him as we do. Whether he's ready to play or not, I don't know. But on tape, we were really impressed with him. So he basically took Grindle's place in our 105, and we feel really good about him. The depth chart has not much meaning to it until you start practice. So whatever you see today, that's just a beginning. That's really where we got to have a starting point, and they got to know where to line up when we go 1s, 2s, 3s, and get practice started. But last season and last spring really has nothing to do with what we do today, and I've instructed my coaches over and over and let the players know, really has nothing to do with it. You have to have a starting point for practice, but it's really about what you do today. 2 days in shorts, 2 days in shoulder pads, helmet, shorts. Then Friday we get in full pads. Then Saturday we scrimmage. These days ahead starting today have a lot of meaning behind them. And you can still evaluate even though we're in shorts today and tomorrow. Get a lot of things evaluated. But I really like where we're at right now. This is the shortest camp I've ever had since I've been in coaching, only 2 weeks. It's the longest period of time from when you start camp till you play a game, 33 days from today until we play SMU down in Dallas. So that's the longest period of time I've ever been through. We don't have any two-a-days because what you have is you have your 29 practices you spread out over a period of time. Well, if it's a longer period of time until you play, you're going to have less opportunities to have 2 practices per day. So basically we don't have any two-a-days, but we have a lot of one-a-days. We have a lot of time. And what I told the coaches is be slow, be thorough, be accurate in your evaluation. There's no rush. Find out our best punt cover team, find out our best offensive line, find our best quarterback, find our best kickoff return team. Just take our time because we do have 33 days until we play a game. And so let's make sure we get the best guys on the field. There's a lot of new faces. There's some old faces in the program. And as always, you're just really excited to get started in practice. And I want to thank Lou Carella and his staff, what they did this summer. We didn't duck the heat, and we're not going to do it. We're not going to duck it today. We'll be out there in the middle of the afternoon, and you guys see the temperatures as we do. They're in phenomenal shape. I think our football team is as good a physical condition and physical fitness as good as it's been since I've been here. Lou's done a great job, not only physically of developing our football team in the last few weeks and months, but I think he's done a really, really good job of developing more leadership, more chemistry, more togetherness on this football team, and it's one of the many reasons I felt like I hired one of the best guys in the country in Lou Carella when I brought him in here. You ask any of our players, they'll tell you the same thing. So can't wait to get going, and excited as we all are when you get going with your first day of practice. So open it up to questions, guys, and appreciate all of you being here today.
You talked about your strength and conditioning. How important is it for that guy to have the right personality and it feeds through your whole program?
Yeah, I mean, I lost a really outstanding one, Joe, as you know, when Frank Wintrick got hired out of BYU. Threw a lot of money at him. He got a great opportunity. I'm happy for him, but we couldn't have built the foundation that we did without Frank Wintrick. When you lose really good people, you better replace them with really good people, and we're sure able to do that with Lou Carella. Lou Carella came into the interview, and he came in, and I think I brought 5 guys in, and I did my research, and as I always do, and I always have a short list. Anytime somebody leaves on your staff, it's one of the things that an experienced head coach usually has, and I'm able to do that. I've always got my short list of who I want to go to in case somebody leaves. I brought Lou in, and he sat down at the end of the staff meeting, and I had a staff meeting room down there, and I had 4 of my other guys in the meeting room with me, and he said, Coach Mack, I just want you to know I'm not hungry for this job. I'm starved for this job. I had a chance to stay at Michigan. I was the top assistant with Brady Hoke. Coach Harbaugh came in and offered me the same job on his staff because he wanted me to stay and be a part of this thing. I'm starved to be the head strength coach here at North Texas. I want to be with you. I want to be at North Texas. And so he left a great first impression as we started that interview. And about 4 hours later, I knew right then, this is the guy that I'm going to hire. I'm going to hire this guy. And the rest is history. He's done a really, really good job. So a lot of our guys have gained weight that needed to. We had a few guys that needed to lose weight, and they've done that. But the fitness of our team overall right now, we can watch some of it we can't in the summertime by NC2A rules. But from what I've seen with my own eyes, and I've been around this team more this summer than I have at any time since I've been here, purposefully, I needed to be in town and be around this program more. It's not like I've been laying in a hammock and hanging out in the Bahamas for weeks and weeks and weeks in the summertime in the past. But I've been around this program more this summer than ever. And I'm really impressed with what I've seen from our guys and the development. And we'll take a really physically fit team out there, a real well-conditioned team to practice today.
Had a lot of changes with your team in the offseason, from players to coaches, a lot of things across the board. Do you feel good about where you are headed into the season?
Yeah, I feel really good. We're all undefeated this time of year. Everybody knows that. Everybody's optimistic. Everybody, you don't hear much negativity. There's not much pessimism anywhere, other than when you read about the preseason stuff. Dallas Morning News had us 5-7. CBSSports.com had us 104th out of 128. AthlonSports.com had us 117th out of 128 teams in the country. Sports Illustrated picked us last in the Conference USA West. Sportsblog.com. I don't even know who the hell that is, but it was sent to me, and they picked us 125 on 128 teams. So everybody's just shoveling all this dirt on top of us, and it sounds like when I first got here. And yet that's a joke. That's just a joke to me. It's not real funny, but it's almost laughable what they're doing to our program. Well, part of it's probably we didn't have a very good season last year, and we dropped off from a magnificent season the year before. There's a lot of positions that were unproven. Then they look at the schedule and they go, well, 12 weeks with no open weeks. Play 12 weeks in a row. You got 8 bowl-eligible teams. You're only going to have 5 games at home, even though you're kicking a lot of people's butts at home. You only got 5 of those at home. You got to go on the road 7 times. So why would we think there's anything positive that could happen in North Texas this year? So, but do we lack for motivation here? Absolutely not. Do we embrace the underdog role at North Texas? Of course we do. And there it's right there in black and white for anybody to read or hear. So we don't hide from it. We don't duck it. We embrace it. But if you lack for motivation as a coach or player in this program, then you're not real smart. You don't have much of an IQ. You don't listen. You don't watch. You don't read. You don't, you're not really a part of this football family because we're used to that at North Texas, and you can hide from it or embrace it. And I think we got guys in this program right now that are ready to embrace that.
Pretty much from day one, 2 years ago, took ownership of that program pretty much from the end of the previous season. Didn't seem like you had that last year. Do you feel like you've got that again this year?
Yeah, I do so far. We haven't practiced yet, Joe, but there's so many measurables from last January, as you go through winter workouts, spring football, summer workouts. And I just think there's more guys that want to lead. They want to hold each other accountable. It's not okay to be late for a meeting. It's not okay to miss a workout. It's not okay just to kind of go through the motions when you finish a drill. A lot of that, again, it goes back to Lou Carella. But I really saw signs of it in the spring. And we have more legitimate leaders on this team right now. We have more guys that want to lead. I think we have more guys that know how to lead. They're not afraid. They're not going to hide. They're going to speak up because, we've all been around really good players that don't want to lead with their voices. They just want to lead by example, and that's okay. And some of the best ones I've ever been around in college football didn't say much. But you can't have a football team full of that. You have to have vocal leaders too. And if they take ownership of the locker room and they take that locker room and they say, this is our team, let's go, get your butt right, be on time, take care of business, you have to give more effort, you're not tough enough, you're not physical enough, make sure that you put more time into preparing for practice because right now you've got too many mental errors. That's coming from the players. Boy, does that make it easier as a football staff and as a head coach. And I think we have more and more and more of that right now. But we got to get everybody now on the same page. This is the first time today we get to go to a practice field with all these newcomers. A third of that class that we signed this last year got here in January. A third of them got here in June. A third of them got here in July. And then Darian just got here yesterday. So we got guys that have been here. Marcus Smith, about the time that I took this job, as you guys remember. We gray shirted him, and then we got guys that just got here yesterday. Well, all those guys got to come in, they got to buy in, they got to be really understand the plan to win here and what it takes to win, starting with practice today. But I just want to step out there today and just eliminate all distractions, make it the best 2.5 hours of your day, and let's get better starting today.
Coach, you got a junior college quarterback coming into the mix. Obviously, he's got to work his way up from the bottom.
Yep.
But can you tell us a little bit about what his game looks like? Have you had a chance to evaluate him at all?
No, really haven't since we've been here. We watched all the tape that we could possibly because, when you bring in a young man at any position that's a junior college, the clock is running fast. It's a shorter career, and you just don't want to make mistakes. Fortunately, we've made a lot of real good decisions here. We've made a couple of mistakes with the junior college guys, but not a long list. Most of those guys have come in and impacted our program. So we didn't want to sign DeMarcus to come in here and watch. We didn't want him to come in here and just be a part of competition. Come in here and go for that number one job. But I also got 3 other quarterbacks that are on scholarship that have two of them have played and started games. 3 of them have had great summers and been here all summer and worked out with our team. So I think I'm really excited about the competition. And you guys that come out to watch practice, I think you'll like what you'll see. We'll be better at quarterback this year no matter who hits the field. And right now, there's no question it's Andrew McNulty. But there's no doubt in my mind, and anybody, player or coach who's been around our program and what they've seen, they know we'll be better at quarterback this year. We have to be. But we need to be better all over the place because our tight ends weren't good enough as a unit. Our offensive line was not good enough as a unit. We didn't have enough wide receivers stepping up last year. We weren't good enough at running back. So go ahead and pick out your unit. We were not good enough all over the place. And when Derek Thompson had the record-setting season and led our team to 9 wins and all the great things and the scoring and the victories and come from behind and all the memories that we'll all cherish the rest of our lives that are North Texas fans, he had a supporting cast around him that really, really did a good job. And we've got to get that back on offense this year.
You were able to rattle off where you guys were picked in a lot of different polls. Is that something you present to your team and use as a motivating factor?
Yeah, it may touch them. It may touch their hearts. It may not. But I just don't. I'm not much on phony. I'm not much on pretend. I'm not much on hiding from what's out there. So that's what's there. And I think we have real good character. I think we have more Division I athletes than at any time last year. I think we'll have more competition. Hopefully when we go down to SMU in 33 days, we'll play more guys, Brett, than we did at any game last year, which means you trust more guys to get on the field and play. So that, as Coach Simmons would say, you're not just chicken eaters when you go to the hotel eating chicken. You're going to help us win a game. I think we got more guys that are capable of doing that, but we'll find out starting practice today and then just get the pieces in place. Who can help us win? It's hard sometimes not to have preconceived notions and preconceived evaluations of guys that may not have done a very good job in the past or not good enough. But I want all my guys, and I've stressed it over and over and over with my staff, clean slate, coach the heck out of them, evaluate the heck out of them. Let's be one of the great evaluating staffs in the country starting today and give them all a hell of a chance to earn a job on this team.
Did everyone else report as expected?
Everybody's here. Everybody's here, good to go. Everybody's got a clean bill of health. Everybody's ready to roll today at practice. I think Zero Wallace has got a temperature, so it's not serious. I'm not sure. We'll find out at practice today. He may not be able to go today, but it's not serious at all. But anybody else that had postseason surgery, post-spring, summer issues, any of that stuff, they're all ready to go, and that's a good thing.
You're in a situation that you really haven't had since your first year here, in that you got to rebuild an offensive line. You had a lot of guys that have been here pretty much since your first season. What do you see in the roster that you've got offensive line-wise, and are you going to have the depth that you like to have?
Yeah, I like them, Joe. I really do. I like the way they work. There's a tradition. That's one of the great things when you take over a program and you try and build some new traditions. Got tradition of playing good in the offensive line here. Not great, not perfect every game. We got manhandled early by Alabama when I first took the job. We had some young guys grow. We had some guys really mature. And then all of a sudden we start going, well, nationally we did some things that nobody thought we could do, and the lack of sacks, the rushing game, scoring of points. The last 2 years combined, I think, are the best in almost 50 years, the points we've scored offensively. That all starts up front in the offensive line. But 4 of those guys are gone, as you mentioned. Like to start that offensive line practice with Caden Kirby in the middle, but who's going to fill in and who are those pieces? I think, like the rest of our team, I think there'll be more offensive linemen that are capable of playing this year. So I talked to Mike Simmons and Mike Kanellis at length about playing more guys this year. The tempo and the pace that we want offensively, hopefully we can do that and still execute. And if we do that, then we got a chance to have more guys on the field. But I like. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I appreciate
I care. I've always cared.
I like the way those guys have been working. I like the physical development. You see a guy like Michael Bonnigu. Who the hell's Michael Bonnigu? This guy came from Division II, walked on, gave him a chance. I just want a shot. I think I can play better. Earned a scholarship. He's now a number 1. He comes out there and runs right now, and he's in unbelievable physical shape. And he's got that character and that pride that you want in every offensive lineman. And you go down a dark alley, grab Bonnigu, and take him with you. So I think we've got a number of guys like that, which got a chance to help our football team. But I really think, depending on the development, who knows? I don't know if Jordan Murray can block our defensive front. I don't know, but I do know when we walked him in and we measure guys like the NFL does, and he was 6'8" and he was 255, you know it's going to take a little while to get around him because he's got long arms and he is a tough guy, and he's made all his times running this summer, according to Lou, and he's a great young man, and that's a giant. That's what you want, some size and some length. And so I don't know, but next week, by end of Saturday, by next week, we'll know a lot more about these guys. But I really think we got a chance to be good up front, and that tradition I talked about, the expectations, the pictures of the guys up in that offensive line room that Mike Simmons puts up, these are our guys. This is what you do when you walk in this room. When you walk in here, these are the expectations. And here's what we want out of you. Here's what your teammates expect. Here's what your coaches expect. Here's what the fans expect. And that tradition, you can just build on that every year. And then in the face of adversity or tough times, just refuse to be distracted or discouraged by it. And so there's all this adversity out there in this schedule and everybody throwing dirt on top of us and all that stuff. Just refuse to be discouraged or distracted by it. Stay focused. Come out here every day ready to go. There's a lot of really neat things going on. I know some of you were here on Friday Night Lights, end of July. Just go, well, what big deal? So what? Over 500 kids show up at a Friday Night Lights out here in Apogee Stadium. And there's Friday Night Lights all over Texas. There's camps all over Texas. And yet on one night, one place, one time, over 500 want to come be a part of our program. So it tells you something, I think, about what we're doing in this place. And I think the respect that we have gained and garnered and built around the state of Texas. So it's a fun time. It's really an exciting time to be here.
Talk a little bit about Caden Kirby. He seems like a great place to kind of build around.
Yeah, he is, no doubt about it, Brett. And he's in great shape. He's confident. As you know, he's got to be a coach on the field for us because he communicates as much or more than our quarterback has to, and he can do all those things. Another former walk-on. Walk-ons, we put 32 guys on scholarship in the 4 years I've been here. Good luck trying to find a Division I school in the country that's had more of that. We had 35. Right now we got 35 of our 105 in the program right now that are either former walk-ons or or walk-ons right now trying to earn a scholarship. So 35 of the 105, as we hit practice today, used to be a walk-on, which 11 of them were, and now they're on scholarship. And then the rest of those 35 are guys that are trying to earn a scholarship. And it just keeps going. It perpetuates itself because more young men want to come in. You get an opportunity, you play winning football, you'll be taken care of at North Texas. And I don't know how to run a program without a real good walk-on program. Some coaches have figured that out. I haven't. We need it. We want it. It's a big part of our tradition here. And I just think we got a lot of guys that are really, really on the verge of helping us win games. And if they do that, they're going to be rewarded here.
But he's one of those guys you feel comfortable with urging in a leadership.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a leader, definitely a spokesperson. He's a guy that's got to keep coming along those lines because he used to not say anything. And I think part of that's because you got 4 guys around you that have been starters and 3-year starters, 4-year starters. But he's the cat now. He's the guy. I mean, all those guys should be looking to him, and he knows it. And he's not shying away from it all, Brett. He's embracing it. He really is excited about being a leader. He needs to be a leader. And then you can either look at all that preseason stuff as far as he's concerned, because he's one of the few guys that somebody's recognized on the outside going, you know what, this guy might be a pretty good player. Love it, enjoy it, embrace it, don't let people down, play like that, or go the other direction. I got a feeling he'll go the direction we want him to.
Wide receiver, you had Carlos Harris and not a whole lot else in terms of production last season. Do you feel better about the wide receiver position in terms of the talent, the guys that you have coming in?
Yeah, if we can stay healthy, I think it's not even close to last year. I think the potential, the talent, the speed, the playmaking ability, the competitive desire of those guys, I don't think it's even close to last year. And it's guys coming out of red shirts, it's transfers. I don't know about Thaddeus Thompson. I haven't coached him yet. But I just know from a maturity standpoint and what Lou Corella told me all summer long, he's the real deal. So we're going to find out. We got every day at practice now to come out here and show us that. But he's really, really done a good job. Daniel Kahn, a walk-on that's trying to earn a scholarship, had a sensational summer. The 2 redshirt freshmen that we've all talked about, about, those guys are coming out of red shirts. There's some real talent there. No doubt, I see Kidsy's really, really improved. Smiley might be one of the most improved guys physically on our football team. So when you have really one really, really good option, which we had last year, and you got a chance to maybe have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 good options this year at wide receiver, don't think those quarterbacks don't know that and feel better about that too. Tight end position, more depth. Running back position, more depth. Those playmakers that have to play together and work together, I just feel much better about that.
Not a lot of full season starters coming back on defense. You had a couple guys that played who started on the Myers. How do you feel about playmakers on defense? Do you have some of those guys that maybe started a few games last year? Do you think will emerge this season?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's just, we got a good blend of guys that did play even though they weren't starters, Brett. Got a few guys that did start. But through recruiting and through development, I think we just have more guys. And when you say strength in numbers, we're going to go out there. 9 guys at practice today in the defensive line played last year. And I didn't say they were all conference or they were draft picks, but I said 9 of them played. And then you start throwing in guys coming out of red shirts. You start throwing in guys coming from a junior college. You start talking about incoming freshman guys. We'll be better in the defensive line. And the guy that's coaching them and teaching them and repping them and preparing them each day, I got a lot of faith and trust in Kevin Patrick. Chris Kosh, can our guys make the transition? There's no doubt in my mind they will. But we need more playmakers on defense. We went from 17 points a game, nationally ranked in just about every defensive category 2 years ago, to 27 points a game last year. So obviously we weren't as good. We didn't get as many turnovers. We weren't as good in the biggest thing is turnovers forced, points given up, and then how do you play in the red zone? When they get down there and it's money time, you got to make a play. And we were okay, but we were not as good. And we got to make sure that we get back to those standards are really important. And when we say plan to win at North Texas and the number one thing is play great defense, we've got to get back to that. And we did it at times last year, but not nearly as much as we did the year before. But I think you're going to see a lot more guys playing this year, not just in the defensive front. I'm really excited to watch all of our guys, and I think we can go to SMU, hopefully, if we keep developing the way I think we can, and really put a lot of guys out there on the field that are going to play. A lot of guys. I mean, not just because of somebody's tired, somebody's tapping out, somebody's can't keep going, because we trust more guys and more guys can play. And I think there's a really good chance you're going to see that with our defense. More speed, more athleticism. Can you go make a play on the ball? Can you force a fumble? Can you recover a fumble? Can you block a kick? I mean, all those things are really important. And those things, that's what good defensive players do. They don't just go out there and play hard. Because frankly, those guys are a dime a dozen. You can find guys a dime a dozen can play hard. Who will make a play when the game's on the line? Who will make a play when he gets an opportunity? Who forces a fumble? Who recovers a fumble? Who breaks on the ball? Who not? We don't need guys out there knocking down 8 or 9 balls in the secondary. Go intercept the ball. Go get back to where we were, 2 years ago, plus 10? Wow, you got a chance to have a hell of a season, and you're taking care of the ball on offense and you're going after it on defense. And I think we went from plus 10 to plus 0 last year, unacceptable. And we should never be in a minus category here, and we haven't been since I took the job. But you want to get up there where you're really taking care of the ball and going after the ball on defense.
You said you haven't seen McNair in person yet, but what did you see on tape that you like about him?
Speed, athleticism, physicalness. He was a Mississippi State commit. I was in that conference before I took this job. I know what SEC players look like. Physically, if he walked in here right now, you go, who the hell's that? Some damn senior? No, he's a freshman that just got here. But I don't know if he's ready to play. I don't know his conditioning because he hasn't been here working out with our guys. But he weighed in yesterday. He doesn't look fat. He doesn't look soft. He's 252 pounds. At our scale yesterday, he's a big, strong, strapping, length, long-armed guy that really has got great character. And what we saw on tape was when you go from here to there, get there as fast as you can, and when you get there, get in a bad mood and go hit somebody and light their world up. And that's what we saw on high school tape. So we'll see what kind of transition he makes, but loved him on high school tape. He and his mom were in a car driving from Florida to Texas, got 5 hours out of Ocala, Florida, hit a big, huge possum, and according to Darian's mom, the biggest possum she'd ever seen, had some car damage, ended up having to go back to Ocala. Then he got on a plane and flew here yesterday. So the bottom line is, as I told him, doesn't matter how you got here. But I wouldn't mind recruiting that damn possum that took that damn car on either. But he's here, and he's set, and he's ready to go, and we're excited that he's here.
Can you talk a little about Chris Kosh and how he's meshed with the defense so far, what he brings to the table?
Yeah, I like him a lot. And, the experience that he brings, the head coaches he's worked for, 98% of his career, he's been a linebacker coach. That's his baby. He knows it inside and out. But he's directed, he's guided, he's taught, he's motivated, he's installed, he's made adjustments as a coordinator in some of the best programs in the country and playing and coaching for some of the best head coaches in America. So I love him. It's a great fit. He's been a great addition. I just like what he brings. But we got a lot of work to do because we not only have the guys that were here in the spring, but we got some guys a number of guys, as you look at our roster, that weren't with us in spring ball. So how fast they pick that up, understand, communicate, play the way we want them to play. But it'll be a lot of fun watching Chris Kosh's defense here at North Texas. I can promise you that. Tradition was built. Standards are there. Expectations are there on John Skladany and the job that he did. And I'll always thank him and appreciate him and love him for what he did. But he's in retirement. He's on a boat as we speak. And Chris Kosh has got the defense, and we got to go get better starting today. Anybody else? Thanks. Appreciate everybody being here.